Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon podcast.
I don't feel like that's even close to the kind of energy we need in this here podcast.
I just saw your shoes.
Okay, well, let's before you get into that, because there is actually some serious business to get to today. I want to say to everybody watching and listening around the world, to all our people in Libya, to all our people in the Balkan area, to all the people in the Bermuda area, welcome to the Endless Honeymoon podcast. My name's Moshe Kasher.
I'm Natasha Leggero.
She's my wife, and she's got some stuff to say. But before you get started, Tosh, I have actually a serious announcement to make. And I know this is gonna... I know this is going to come as a bit of a shock to our listeners, but my hair is still long. And I was unable to cut it due to a lot of complicated stuff. The job that I got completely fell apart at the 11th hour. I don't have the job. I didn't get the job. And my consolation prize is that my hair is still long.
He bought himself some Tevas
Well, that's separate.
to celebrate not cutting your hair. So now you have long hair and Tevas.
Okay, I say they're dope. And Natasha's been kind of roasting me. There's a lot you've been roasting me about lately, physically. What was it last night? I was getting ready for a show. I was getting ready to go do a stand-up show because I'm back doing stand-up. Outdoors only.
I am not a fan of roasting your husband, but you've been wearing a half ponytail.
Roasting your husband?
Yeah, like I think you should like be nice to your husband. But sometimes you ask me what my opinion is.
No. That's not what happened. I was getting ready to, we were putting our child in bed. We were reading some of our favorite Bible verses to her, as we do every night before we go to bed. I was in the middle of Jeremiah and Revelations. And Natasha says to me, hey, do you need to take some time to get ready for your show? And I was like, bitch, I am ready for my show. And she's like, are you sure? I go, yeah, I'm sure I'm ready. She's like, with your hair like that?
Well, because you're doing like a half ponytail on top and then long hair falling down.
Yeah,
like,
a Ronin, like a samurai.
It looks like
a contract killer from feudal Japan.
Anne of Green Gables.
You look like Anne of Green Gables. You look like
It just looks like a woman, like female, like half.
A woman, female.
I mean, like it just looks like a female hairstyle.
Didn't you get in trouble?
And then you have a mustache.
Wait, didn't you get in trouble before when you came to this podcast with your ignorance about gender essentialism? When you were talking about workout tights and you were saying boys shouldn't wear those and girls should. Now you're saying boys shouldn't wear their hair in half ponytails with a kind of a hippie curls
like
hanging
a
down.
Fringe hanging down.
I think I look like a Ronin.
What's a Ronin?
It's a contract killer. It's a
Oh, it's like kind of a Steven Seagal look.
Kind of a thing. A Ronin, I believe, is an independent warrior. It's a samurai who doesn't work for a great lord. He's an independent contractor.
I don't like that look on you.
You don't like the Ronin look?
No, it's not what I remember.
It's not what you remember?
Loving about you.
It's not what you recall?
And then you got Tevas, and then you asked me where your Snoopy patch was.
Okay, let me just say
and
a few things.
And I just don't know who you are anymore.
Okay, well, first, that's what she literally said to me. She goes, I guess it's a different style than I remember. It's like, remember, styles evolve, styles change.
You were like, I'm fashion forward. Styles change.
I said I'm dope. I can dress well. I'm a good ass dresser. It's like one of my primary characteristics. I don't have a good personality. I'm not mentally advanced at all. I can do crowd work and I can dress. That's kind of all I got. And I got a thick dick.
Okay, well, why don't you show people your Tevas?
Okay, I mean, what do you guys? I think they're kind of dope. Like,
you look like the drug dealer in college.
You've said this joke already.
No, I remember him. His name was Clay, and like
I look like Clay.
Yes, whenever you wear those, I think of him. And he had like a Grateful Dead blanket outside of his window, like a quilt that, like, so everyone knew that's where you get the drugs.
He put a quilt out.
Yeah,
that was his
like on
system?
the fire escape in Normal, Illinois.
Did that mean I have drugs currently, or come get your drugs?
It was all good. It didn't matter.
Right.
It was just like time to party.
I think I look fresh.
You said that you bought them to walk in the river, and now you're wearing them on the podcast.
Well, I'm just trying to be... I'm comfortable. First of all, let me just say, if you're watching on YouTube, you already know. If you're listening to this audio-based podcast...
I'm taking a picture.
Yeah, take a picture, because I'm sitting in a pile of laundry right now, a 2-foot
Oh,
tall
yeah.
pile of laundry.
We forgot to fold the laundry.
There is no we. You did this.
I forgot. Well, because I do the laundry.
How many times? And by the way, we are not doing well as a couple, Natasha and I. We are on the very fringes of separation, but we won't break up for the podcast. Like, we might not be together romantically, but as we've said, right? We actually both signed a prenup, and it said if we ever start a podcast, that goes.
I get Third Love as sponsorship.
That's right. You get Third Love in the divorce.
You're keeping Bruges.
Yeah, Bruges forever. But I don't do the laundry not because I'm not willing. You won't allow me to.
Because how many?
So don't. But
do you know how to fold laundry? It doesn't seem like you would know
fold
that.
laundry.
Yeah.
Do you think that's hard?
I mean, kind of.
Do you know how to fold laundry? Because I'm looking at a monstrous thing-like pile of unfolded laundry. Now,
I know, but I'm going to fold it tomorrow. And I thought, people could see how we live.
Well, this is how we live. This is our real life. And I'm dope. I look dope. I'm a cool dude. And I like clothes. I always have liked clothes. And styles change, Natasha. Styles change. Things move on. You know, people don't stay in the same...
I understand that. I just feel like you're kind of changing it from top to bottom. I'm
just moving on. And you know, I'll tell you the truth about me. I have always been a person whose style has evolved. You know, and it's I think actually one of my better characteristics. I kind of change with the times. Are you listening to me right now, or are you just putting your lacy panties on our dog's head? Which thing would you like to do while we do this podcast?
Okay, I can accept that your
childish.
I'm sorry, that your style changes.
Wait, how did that come out as childish though? That felt I don't even know if you could count that as a Freudian slip. It was so on the nose. Anyway, the point is, what do you think of the Tevas? Write in, let us know. These are not your dad's Tevas, by the way.
I could handle Crocs.
You could handle Crocs. Those are worse than Tevas. Crocs are worse than Tevas. Crocs are worse than Tevas.
I don't do Tevas.
This episode is called Crocs are worse than Tevas.
Wait, my daughter wears Crocs. I think it looks
cute. Your daughter?
Yeah, our child.
Yeah, is my daughter as well.
Your daughter wears Crocs.
Yeah,
and it looks cute.
You're right. That is a good point. The 3-year-old who lives with us wears Crocs. She also wears My Little Pony T-shirts.
Here's why Crocs are better.
Okay, tell me.
They don't force people to see your dumb toes.
You can't see my toes.
Socks and sandals is like a
you know what you sound like?
Classic no.
You know what you sound like right now?
What?
A square. You know what you really sound like?
A square? Because I think you shouldn't wear sweat socks and Tevas.
Let me tell you what you really sound like.
You should get some of those shoes that have a sock for each toe.
You mean?
Oh, and you should wear those with your Tevas. And then you could put some Crocs on top of that. You'd look real fresh.
You know what you sound like, honestly?
What?
The dad from Footloose. But around fashion, not dancing. You seem old-fashioned. You seem out of touch. And you don't really understand what us Gen Zers go through. And now you're putting the panties on the dog again.
I just wanted to be like a beret.
Anyway, the point is, Natasha's... this is what I really believe. I think you're a little bit intimidated by my style. I think you're like, damn, I didn't know that for the rest of our relationship it was going to be a competition of like who looks the freshest. And it's something that bothers you, and I understand that. I understand your insecurity, and I want to help you figure out a way through this.
All right. Well, why don't we take a call?
No, I want to talk more about this.
Let's take a call.
Can you take the panties off of my dog's head, please?
It's funny.
It's not funny anymore. He can't even see.
Anyone would think that was funny.
He's like a horse.
100% of people think that's funny.
Gotta
touch
take
it
off. That's
Why?
my dog. Because
everyone thinks, even people in PETA would think that was funny. Don't touch it. Please don't touch it. Why did you do that?
I don't want him to be blindfolded for the rest of the podcast. You really
want to see through it. You just ruined it.
You really want to put these panties?
No, I wanted them how they were. It was so funny. It was bringing me joy.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to destroy your joy through dog torture. Here you go. There you go. He looks like you know what he looks like right now is a Sicilian housewife who's lost her mafioso lover.
All right, honey, let's take a call.
That's fine. Let's take a call. We're now going to call Annie, annoyingly spelled Anny, in Denver, Colorado.
Hello?
Hi, Annie. How are you? Are you so excited to be talking to us finally? That's,
Oh my God.
can I ask you a question, Annie? And like, this is serious.
Yeah.
Crocs or Tevas?
Oh, Crocs.
No.
Thank you.
All right, we got to go, Annie. It's been good.
No, I have both.
You have both. Okay, very
Uh-huh.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
She's got both.
What do you, okay, well.
Does that make me a total Colorado girl?
Oh, I guess so.
Oh, she lives in Colorado.
It doesn't count. It's a
no.
different. We're grading on a different curve here. But right now, I'll be honest with you. You look like an extra in an early Marky Mark music video.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment.
You should. You should feel the vibration.
I like the Calvin Klein underwear bra plus a flannel.
Yeah, they're very Colorado. This is
I
cool.
hear 90s is back.
That's what I hear too, which is why a motherfucker bought a pair of Tevas.
Why do you guys want to dress how the people on the internet are telling you what's back?
Because me and Annie share something, which is that we're freaking cool.
I just take to the streets and wear what I
You
feel
take
like.
to the
Yep.
streets?
Mhm.
Okay.
See what's up. See what I think is cool. See what looks good.
That's what I do too. Annie, can I ask you a question real quick
Yes.
before we get into dealing with whatever you have going on? And I assume what you're asking about is advice on the correct way to spell the name Annie. But before we get into that, does this sound dope to you? A hat, a dad cap. It's with a Snoopy. It's a patch with it's Snoopy on a surfboard. So it's like a kind of cool, like retro vintage patch of Snoopy. He's surfing. Does that sound cool or not cool at all?
Where are you wearing it?
On my head, is what I was thinking.
To
like formal, like
no,
weddings.
just like for fashion to hang out and
Yeah,
stuff.
to hang out.
I think if you have your child with you, it's adorable.
Okay, all right.
That's what I mean. Like, I just don't get like Looney Tunes for adults. Like, do you want like a Tweety Bird shirt too? Like Tweety Bird and
Man.
Sylvester coming out of your pocket?
whatever, man. Annie, what's up?
You'll
How can
never
we
convince me that that's cool, honey.
Well, I guess we just understand cool differently. Annie, how can we help?
All right. I have like a family question for you guys. So I want to know, should I get to know my birth mother and my half siblings, even though it feels like a huge betrayal to my wonderful adoptive mother?
Does she think it's a betrayal?
I don't know. We don't talk about the subject.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what do you know about your birth mother? Does she feel like a safe person? Or are you gonna like open up, a huge thing?
I don't know her well. We have texted and that's it.
You never met her.
No.
Right. What if you meet
Wow.
her and you're like, damn, you're busted? That would
I
be a
don't
real
know.
heartbreak, I mean,
I literally, thanks to Ancestry.com, got in touch with a cousin and then got her phone number, and we've texted very little.
And what do you know about her?
She lives in a couple states away in Utah, and she, I don't know, seems like an interesting woman. She seems like she's had many lives.
Do you know if she like has any issues? Like, does she have any substance issues? Do you know why she gave you up for adoption?
I mean, doesn't everyone have issues?
not in our experience. Natasha and I are living a pretty perfect life. Why don't you take a look at our couch? I mean, no, I have a feeling about this, but I think it's hard for. I have some thoughts.
Go ahead. I have some too.
It's hard for me and Natasha to understand the emotional context of what you're describing because we weren't adopted. So but my first gut instinct is that you don't live your life in service of your parent. You live your life, you love your parent, but you don't owe your parent. And again, because I'm not adopted, I don't understand the nuances of that relationship. I appreciate that that's incredibly complicated, etc. But you don't make all of your life choices based on like whether or not your mother would be like, that's good with my vision, that's not good with my vision. Like, if you want to meet your birth mother and your adopted parents, then rather your half siblings, then you have the right to do that. You have to live your own life.
And I'm sure your parents have been prepared for that your whole life. I'm sure that's something that they prep people with when you're adopting.
My mom has prepped me my whole life to not want to meet this person.
Oh.
She was like talking shit. She was like, she's a buster. You don't want anything to do with her.
Well,
Fake ass, Utah ass, fuck her, kind of a thing.
The majority of adoptions are open adoptions. Mine is closed, and supposedly closed adoptions are usually that way for a reason.
What does that mean? I didn't know about this.
But you have to prove in front of a judge that like the child should not have contact with the biological mother, and a judge rules whether or not that's the case.
And the judge ruled that.
Yeah.
But that was how long ago?
30 years.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean,
but I mean, when you're talking to your mom, I mean, you do have to trust your adoptive mom, because she's telling you that this person might be toxic, and unless they're like just jealous or something, but she is probably trying to protect you by telling you this, and you all have the added confirmation of the closed adoption. You don't know much about this woman.
But what's the worst?
But I'm just saying, what do you hope to get from it? It might just be like a little bit of a pipe dream, and you might open up this Pandora's box where it's like, now Pandora's this person box? That you don't even really know that well wants something from you, wants your time, wants your energy, whatever it is. And it might be more than you're willing to give, because this person already, from your mom who you trust, told you this could be. But if there's something you really need to get from her, then maybe a Zoom would be nice.
we could have the two of you meet for the first time on our podcast. That could
no,
be
I
fun.
Don't want to host that.
Wait.
I should arrange this.
Well, so tell us what are your concerns? Like, do you want this? Is this something you want?
Natasha is expressing all of my deepest fears spot on. That's exactly what I don't want, is to open a Pandora's box of a relationship with a person I actually don't want a relationship with. You can't take that back.
Yeah, and it's not even you don't know if it's a safe person or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
You have two people telling you, or you have a court judgment, but I know it's from 30 years ago. Moshe kind of seems to disagree with me.
Listen, I don't think you should meet her. I think I am inherently distrustful of decisions made based on fear. Unless you are actually actively getting a bad feeling, in that case, I think trust your instincts.
But it's so emotional.
But whenever you're like, oh, I'm worried, like I have the X, Y, and Z possibility in the future. I don't like decisions based on that. I like decisions based on like practical, like reality. Do I want to meet this person? Am I is this important to my development as a human being to meet my birth mother and get to know her? If yes, do it. If the answer is like no, I have no desire to do that, this feels like, even though I'm curious, it's like a morbid curiosity, but I know it's a bad idea, then I think no. My only thing is like, it's not, my advice is not you should meet her. My advice is more, I don't think you should make your decision based on, is this a betrayal of my adopted mom? Is this, is there a possibility that this is some bad idea? It should be based on like what you're really experiencing and observing, I guess is what I think.
I think you could have one more talk with your mom who raised you and just say, say what you're saying. Say what I said, like I am drawn. I've texted with her a few times. I am kind of drawn to see her, but I just, I wanted to know if you had any guidance or, because I could go either way. I don't know. Just try. I don't know what your relationship is with like her.
Does she
like with her?
Does she know that you have contacted her? And what is your instinct how would she react to just that information that you've been texting with her, sending dick pics? It would break her heart. So would it break her heart because this woman's dangerous or something?
I think that her perception of this, is such. I think she would be worried for me.
Do you trust her, the mom who raised you?
Oh, yeah. My adoptive mother, of course I trust her.
So she's not like trying to make you not like someone for no reason.
I think she's right that like my adoptive mother would not have been a great influence to have growing up. But now and it would not have been a good idea to grow up in that family. I'm glad I grew up in the family I'm in.
Do you think, can I ask you a serious question? Do you think she would have spelled your name A-N-N-I-E? Because in that case, she would have been a more positive influence.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, I cut you off in an actual sincere moment. I apologize. Please.
I am. So here's the real question: is I am definitely like tempted to go out there and meet her. Like you said, Moshe, I'm not a person that lives under the constraints of my own fear, and the adventure and the temptation is absolutely calling me out there for at least one visit. The real question is, do I keep it a secret and keep that information to myself?
Great. So you've already made your decision. You've made your decision.
Yeah, I think I've already like mentally made up my mind.
But you could have boundaries when you go.
Can I?
Yeah. What boundaries?
I don't know.
Well, can I ask?
Think about it.
I feel like we're missing some of the story. Like, what's the story? Why is this person so toxic that she didn't get an open adoption? Do you know?
I don't know the specific details. I know that she grew up with like a really awful family life. She didn't want to bring me into that family life. I'm not the only child that she gave up for adoption. I'm one of a couple, which is why I said, should I get to know these half siblings that I know are out there? Because I'm one of several children given up for adoption.
Are you in touch with them?
No, and she's not either.
So you could look them up theoretically.
I'm about to do a lot of DNA swabs and start looking for some siblings.
Got it. How interesting. For sure you should get in touch with them, I think.
I know. I agree.
I think you should tell your mom and maybe let her know that then that you want, it was 30 years ago and you want to have really firm boundaries, and maybe you could ask her if she has any advice and say, I do want to meet her this one time. I'm sorry. It's like, it just feels like I'm drawn to it. And, nothing can take away what you've given me, and, compliment her. It's like breaking up with a boyfriend. And,
you're breaking up with your adopted mom. And and at the end of it, you say
honesty. And I think you can say, I was afraid to tell you because I didn't want you to be upset, but it's more important to me to be honest with you because I love you.
This is a good idea, but I would go a step further. I would sit your adopted mother down, your real mother down and say, I would say, Mom, I really want to meet this person. It has nothing to do with you. It's just something I need to do. And you've meant a lot to me in my life. And unfortunately, I am moving on. I have a new mom now, and I move into Utah. I just take it all the way. No, but I'm still wondering. That was a joke. I'm still wondering if I don't know what I think, if it's her business or not. I mean, it is her business in some weird way, but I'm also like, why not? There are certain...
It's her business because she has an active, idea about it.
All I'm saying is, if it would break her heart and it's something you're going to do, I don't necessarily know for sure if she needs to know every detail of your life. Like, I just don't...
Like, she could tell her after. But I was thinking maybe she could give her advice.
Like, it feels so easy to lie. It
right off the tongue. But then you have a big secret from your mom, which is, I guess... I mean, it's not just a secret from your mom, because we all got secrets from our mom. Not everybody tells their mom everything, obviously. But this is the primary core secret. This is like... the fundamental relational, this is your primary secret that you could keep from her, but it's also your primary heartbreak that you could give to her. This is like down at the deep ooky core of your relationship, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What's your instinct say? Tell her, don't tell her?
Oh man, the chicken shit part of me just wants to lie. But I'm sure that like everyone who's telling me to have a hard conversation is secretly right.
I think if you feel like your mom could offer insight or some wisdom going into the situation, it might be worth asking her. If you feel like she'll be reactive, and I mean, I don't know the lady, then maybe don't.
I've got it. I know the answer.
If there's something that could help you, yes, go ahead.
I know the answer. Change the spelling of your name. No, the answer is this. I just realized it. The answer is yes, you need to tell her 100%. And here's why. Not because she deserves to know, because I don't know that people deserve any, like at a certain point, a parent doesn't deserve anything but your love. That's the only thing that they deserve. And not everybody loves their parents, but you do, and I do. And they don't deserve to know everything about you. But here's the more important reality. You won't be able to keep this a secret. You'll lie, you'll go to Utah, you'll have this thing, and then for the rest of your relationship, it'll be like you cheated on your mom. And so for the rest of your relationship, every time you see her, you'll be like, and you'll feel weird. And then eventually you'll crumble and go, Mom, I need to tell you something. 5 years ago, I went and saw this lady. And then
Mom.
And what do you always say, Natasha? There's not a good time to give. You have to tell her, because eventually you'll tell her and then she'll be double heartbroken. By the way, again, I'm not an adoptee. I don't know what it's really like, obviously. But I don't think she has the right to make you feel guilty about the choices that you've made. What adopted person on earth wouldn't be at least? It's not like
I do think that if I had a really cool adoptive mom and I was like really happy and I knew that like my real mom was kind of a loser, I probably wouldn't want to meet her.
But that's a personal decision. I'm just saying, be like, how could you do this to me? It's like, well, do you think this is a news story? I'm the first adopted person that's interested in meeting their, you know what I mean? It just feels like she doesn't have the right to do that.
All right. Well, good luck. It sounds hard.
What are you going to do before?
So I'm going to blend your advice.
Talk us through it.
I'm going to probably go out there, go to Utah and have this meeting in person and then like confess my sins immediately when I get home.
I like that idea. I think that's a really good idea.
Like, I'm going to tell her, but I want to like meet first.
And don't drink when you're with the new mom. Like just try to like don't like try to like maybe make it in the day, have a beginning, have an ending. Just try to have some like boundaries.
And also and like who knows, maybe you'll meet her and you'll be like, wow, you're so much cooler than my adopted mom, and you could adopt your mom and as your child. You know, she might need to get her shit.
Your real mom or your adopted mom, because she might talk you out of it. And it seems like you're really drawn to doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I always just do what I want. But
here, I would advise telling your adopted mom how hot your birth mom was. You say that a lot.
I mean, she knows they met.
That's right. Well, good luck.
And
that
you're
sounds...
so another mom to meet, but it's so lucky that you
a person to meet.
More family.
Yeah. Hey.
Good
great.
luck, honey.
Okay. Bye, Annie.
Love you guys.
We love you too.
Bye.
Aww.
ANNY. I like it.
I know. I like it too. I just thought it'd be fun to roast her about it a little bit. Kind of like how you really secretly like my style.
I don't like the Tevas, honey. I don't do like that's like one of those things. You know, like when you're like with a couple and you're like, oh yeah, we don't really do that.
Wait, when you're with it, what do you mean?
Like, you know, you guys are like simpatico. Like, you know, you're like, oh, we don't really like music like that. You like you kind of share a worldview. Like I thought you and I shared a view that did not involve Tevas.
But see, here's the thing that I think you're misunderstanding. You're living in a Tevas are for like granola.
No, I don't like how it looks. I don't care who they're for. I don't like it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're living in a world where it's like, oh, Tevas, that's like a mountaineer thing. But I'm saying they're like cool now. Let's take another call. Actually, wait, should we do secrets first?
Yeah, let's do some secrets.
Hey, Tosh. Hey, Moshe. So, I have a secret. About little less than 3 years ago, I started just randomly waking up with my neck cramping really bad and didn't think it was a big deal. Didn't think anything of it at first. But it very quickly started getting worse and I was having tightness in my throat to the point where I was having trouble swallowing and more and more foods were too hard for me. Then all of a sudden I got to a day where it was so bad that I literally couldn't get anything down except for liquid. I had already been to the doctor and I was like, all right, I have to figure out what's wrong here. So I tried to think what had changed recently, and it hit me that shortly before my neck problems had started, I had bought myself, for the first time ever, a pocket pussy, and I became instantly addicted. I use it every day, usually several times, and we're not talking quickies here. I was using it excessively, so I thought maybe I should stop using it for a couple of days. I did, and sure enough, I felt better, and then so I wouldn't be tempted, I just chucked it, and within the next month or two, I was 100% back to normal. And now to this day, I have family members who will ask me, oh, what do you think happened? What was it that caused your neck problems? And I have to pretend I don't know because I can't tell them that it was actually because I was jerking off too hard. Okay, that's my secret. Thanks. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay, what was it though?
A pocket pussy. It was probably like one of those. What is it? Well, you should know more than me.
Oh, I know what a pocket pussy is. I've got 14.
I'm
saying why did it make his neck Just
because he's like going like he's moving.
Really?
I think so.
How?
He's not used to having a lot of sex. He's having like hardcore sex.
Oh, you're saying he was like kind of really getting into it?
I'm assuming I see him laying down with like a canister that he just keeps putting over his dick.
Check it out, okay? I got a pocket pussy here, right? Aren't I just going like this?
Well,
like, where's your neck getting involved?
Because he was like fucking it.
He was fucking it.
Yeah.
He had like bored a hole in his drywall, shoved the pocket pussy in there, and was like really hammering it.
I'm surprised he didn't just try to do more what you're doing, move his hand more.
That's what I'm saying.
Instead of
where's
his body.
whole neck thing?
Oh, maybe he was going the orgasms.
Or maybe he was going down on it.
No.
So he was like in that weird going down on it position.
Maybe the orgasms were kind of like rocking his neck.
I've never had an orgasm rock my neck.
Maybe you need to work a little harder.
Maybe you need to work a little harder.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Kivas, let's play another secret.
Hey, Mo, and Pat. So my secret is that I really like my teacher at the adult learning center where I live. And every time I look him in the eye, he keeps playing with his wedding ring. So I'm wondering, I think he kind of likes me too, but he doesn't really want to make a move. So I don't really know what to do about it. There's usually no one in the school because of COVID. And there's circumstances and stuff because of that, but I'm wondering how I should make a move. All right, later, guys. Bye.
I don't think you should make a move to come on to your teacher, and I'd be very curious if it was like, was it really more than once that he did that?
Also, it's like you're calling us to get us to advise you how to make a move on a married man. It's like, don't do that. Go find someone else to fuck. You know what's bad about this secret is if he's right, he is going to fuck that guy for sure. Like I could hear it in his voice. He wasn't like,
but that you could get the teacher in a lot of trouble too.
That's a funny way to look at it.
Well, if he like totally comes on to the teacher.
Right. You ever see Oleana?
No.
It's that kind of situation.
Oh, yeah. The David Mamet play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think you should. It's funny, too, that he reads the playing with the wedding ring not as a, hey, just so you know, I'm married. It's a, I really want this thing to get off of my finger so I can put it up you. It's like, what? Is that possible that he's signaling you? Like, hey, bud.
Stop staring at me. Sorry, I know it's fun fantasy.
What's that? I mean, it would be hot for teacher. Classic song. Have you ever fucked a teacher?
No, definitely had crushes on them though. It's easy to get a crush on a teacher.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
They know more than you.
I hit up when I first moved to LA. Hit up a graduate student teacher from my university. You know, one of those, what do they call them? The grad students that's in the classroom that I had like a connection with.
Yeah, like the teacher's assistant or something.
Yeah, never hit me back.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I'm an adult now. I'm here in LA. Ready to rock your world.
And was it a woman?
Yes, honey, it was a woman.
What did they say back?
They did not write back.
What did you say, though?
What do you mean, was it a woman? Are you wondering if I dated men at some point and I haven't brought it up to you?
The way you were saying it.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just was like, oh, you said just you had a crush on them. I didn't know. It's sativa. Sorry, I just like.
Okay, let's play another secret.
Hi, Natasha and Moshe. I live in Seattle, and I work at a bar and walk to work every day. Nice way to get some exercise. There are a lot of crows that also live in my neighborhood, and over the last couple of years, I've taken a real shining to them. I find them to be very charming animals. They're surprisingly intelligent and like to be fed. So I carry a little bottle of cat kibble with me on my way and talk to them as I walk to work. They love it. Someone who doesn't love it, though, is a older man who lives along my route to work. And every once in a while, he will see me and tell me to stop feeding the crows. I usually just ignore him because, you know, I live in this neighborhood too, and if this is what I want to do, it's what I'm going to do. But I try to avoid feeding the crows directly in front of his house from that point forward. This, however, did not appease him. And every couple of weeks when I would pass the house, he would say something increasingly more hostile to me. At one point, calling me a fucking asshole. At one point, you know, yelling at me as I just ignored him and continued to walk away. And finally, just a couple weeks ago, this elevated even more while I was walking past. and he approached me again, not wearing a mask. He just came right up to me, and I just had enough that day and screamed at the top of my lungs, "Get the fuck away from me!" He starts screaming, but I can't really understand what he's saying because I don't really care, to be perfectly honest. But he's screaming his head off, hurling profanity at me. And my response is to just yell back, "Look, dude, I don't want to see your penis. Please stop offering to show it to me." I yelled that at him twice and then just proceeded to continue to walk away. He kept screaming at me for several minutes as I was walking, so I was like a good block away before I couldn't hear him yelling at me anymore. So I eventually decided probably the mature thing to do would be to just walk around that block, not walk on it, which I started doing. However, because I do work at a bar, and here we are at the secret part, I often come home very late at night and have decided a couple times that the best course of action was to walk down his block and see his car as I walked by. I've done this twice now.
What?
And I don't really feel bad about it either. Anyway, thanks for listening. I'm sorry if that story was kind of long, but
don't
I hope
do
you get a
that.
kick out of it.
No,
I don't
kick out of it.
I think that is.
Hey, I keyed a mentally ill old man's car. Hope you get a kick out of it. Ta-ta. I'll be off feeding the crows.
Yeah, I think that don't do that.
Some next door shit right here.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't key a car.
Just don't.
I don't think you can key the car. Teach the crows to key the car. To peck the car. That I'd be into.
Have this is something you did.
Oh, this is bad. Key the car? Why don't you feel bad about it? But by the way, he's going to get caught too. He keeps doing it, stumbling home drunk. The guy's clearly watching the neighborhood. He's going to get caught.
Yeah, and in general, I wouldn't key a car.
Don't key a car. Maybe we'll call that the episode Don't Key a Car.
Okay, well, I think we have a caller in another country, so maybe we should give them a call.
Oh, this is exciting.
It gets too late. Although I wasn't. Maybe it's early there.
Let's find out. Where are we calling? Who are we calling? Ooh.
We're calling Alex in
Shenzhen,
China.
Now this is exciting. We've had Israel. We've had New Zealand. We have never had China. Alex.
Hi,
can
Alex.
you hear us?
Hey. Yeah, how's it going?
Good. You're a little casual, I feel like. Like not even a real acknowledgement that, hey, what's up, dude? Yeah, hey. Cool.
Yeah.
By the way, Alex, when I heard we had a caller from China, if I did a character sketch of who I thought would be on the other end, it would have been your face. 100% for sure. You're the guy I was picturing.
Why do you live in China?
I've been a teacher here for 6 years.
Cool.
What are you teaching?
English.
Duh.
What do you mean, duh? You could be a genius in some other shit.
I appreciate that because most people assume English, and I did like the Canadian curriculum English, so we still do Shakespeare and all that stuff, but it's hard to explain.
How difficult is your students? Do they come to you speaking no English and you straight up teach them English, or do they got some?
No, they're. I used to do grade 11 and 12, and they're getting there. They're pretty well established by this point.
Got it.
I don't have to do any basic stuff.
So you're taking them to the full functional.
Well, the benefit is I don't have to really know any Chinese. So
right.
that explains
cool.
how I made it this far.
So do you only know English?
No, I've been learning. Actually, the reason I sent the message to your producer was that a couple weeks ago, Moshe said something. There was some caller saying they weren't doing something, and he said, well, at least he's not a guy who's not learning Cantonese to talk to his family. It's like, well, that describes exactly the situation I'm in.
Oh, interesting. Now, wait, are you married to a Chinese woman? Is that the situation?
No, that's what we're going to get into.
Let's get it. Let's do it.
It's a bit more complicated than that.
Let's do it. Well, before we get there, I am curious, is China going to eventually topple the hegemony of the American empire and become the dominant world force? And will we all be needing to learn Chinese in our lifetime?
It looks like it. Like you wouldn't know there's anything wrong here virus-wise. So things are pretty good on this side of the world.
Is that true?
It's the only thing you can tell about there not being pandemic here is that the borders are closed. I've been home in 2 years, but living here is exactly the same as it was pre-virus.
I guess let's move to China. All right, what's up, Alex? Tell us your tale.
So the borders being closed is sort of the issue. So our life has gone back to normal here for the most part, but the complication is that my partner and I, it's her daughter. So I call her my daughter, but it's stepdaughter. She goes to school in Hong Kong. So it's been a year and a half since she's been in the classroom. I work at a school. The condition is that if I have a kid, they can go to school for free, must be biological kid or legally adopted. So we have to be married. We're not married. And the reason we're not married is she's still in her previous marriage and just slow wheels moving, trying to get out of it. She is not hesitant to do it. We've talked about it. We want to do it. There's a lot of like benefits for us, but more than just that, like the emotional side of it. But every time she like puts the kind of screws to her husband, trying to get him to cooperate even a little bit, it just goes nowhere and has gone nowhere for 2 years. So my question is, I want to be supportive of her. Her problem is she's sort of a like fatalist. Like if something seems impossible, she just won't even attempt it. You know, so like we've tried to get like visas to travel, and it's very difficult for Chinese citizens. So she's like, yeah, they're just going to say no, so I won't do it. So she won't put the pressure on him to get this process moving. And I don't want to put the pressure on her to put the pressure on him when it's going nowhere. I just want to know really how to get her moving on it, but not kind of undercut her and not support her, sort of thing.
I mean, you're kind of in a relationship with someone who is not really a go-getter, someone who like gets shit done and like figures out what they need to do and does it, because I don't think that's something you can impart in her.
It's not so much that, because she's like that she's like that in this situation, but she's not like that in her personal life. Like she's a very hard worker. It's just when she knows that every time she picks up the phone, he's going to give her shit about whatever and hear the same comments repeated back that she's got in the last 2 years. She just says, I know what he's going to say. So it just gets left, and then it gets left. And we were on the verge of getting something done, and then the borders closed, so we couldn't get it done. So we're just sort of trying to move things along.
She needs to get out of that relationship. Yeah, and how much can you help her?
What's her plan? What would she do? Just stay married for the rest of her life?
Well, no, she's asked him, like she's gone to him and asked him. She said, this is what I need you to do. We can go and settle this. Like we can do it in court with the lawyers and get everybody involved. And he doesn't want to do that.
So what does he say?
He just says he's not cooperating.
Then she needs to say, well, how do you want to do it? Because it's happening.
Wait, what's up with China? Yeah. I mean, what's the deal with China? Is it just like in the West, if you want a divorce, you can do it unilaterally?
Well, it's easier and harder in some ways. So the easy part is that there's no custody dispute. It wouldn't have come up in this case. He's not particularly interested in it, but in general, it just sort of defaults to the mother. So that makes that battle a lot easier. There's also no precedent for alimony. So she doesn't get really any support from him at all, which is fine in this case because she doesn't really need it. Like she's been without any support from him for 2 years. We're completely fine, completely covered. She's got to go and get it done. And the question is whether we have to go sue for it or whether he can just agree to it. There's not really any reason from my perspective why he wouldn't just agree to it because he's not getting anything.
So we're back to my first question. So she doesn't want to push because it keeps being difficult and complicated. What's her plan? Just continue to be married to this man for the rest of her life because she doesn't want to face the consequences
she keeps pushing him every couple months. It just there's been no progress on it. Like she's pushing, but she won't. My advice sort of was like, at your judgment, kind of go after him every day. Or if he says something to you, he messaged you and says, not every day, but if he messaged you saying something, you go back and say, I'd be happy to do that if you would just grant me the divorce. Like sort of just get in his ear and not let him forget it.
Do you
I think it's just sorry, go ahead.
You can't, do you have the money to like have a lawyer write a really stern letter?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like it's just the process of doing that. Like getting that done is way more difficult than just both people coming in agreeing to sign the paper. You know,
I think Natasha's onto something. You need to get encourage her because you've now have the evidence of how motivated she is. Is it possible that she just doesn't want to marry you and that this is an elaborate ruse? That she's a theater piece? No, okay. Here's what it seems like. I think you're right, Natasha. Like you have all the evidence you need on how motivated she is to face this uncomfortable situation head on. She doesn't want to do it. So you got to get like a third party person. Like you say to your wife, not, hey, you really need to tell your husband you want a divorce. You say instead, I think you and I need to hire an attorney. I don't know who it would be.
I know.
Yes,
I know. Here's what she needs to do. She needs to go tell him one more time. And she needs to go say, listen, and before you, sometimes you have to, maybe you can tell her this when you're coaching her. Like, I'm not a particularly like, it's hard for me to strategize. It's hard for me to sometimes get things done. But I think going in with like points and bullet points and really knowing what you want from people in difficult situations can really help. So if you like just know the 3 things or whatever it is, she needs to present them to him, make it very simple. And if again, he's like, I don't really feel like doing that, then you have to find someone who can write something. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's someone you give $500 to, like a formal letter saying, my client on this date asked you for this, we are going to ask you for this signature and, so on and so forth, whatever it is, signed this, the date, the time, the date that she just talked to him and asked him one more time. She was trying to be cool. He said no. She doesn't need to say, well, then I'm going to hire a lawyer. She just needs to do it. And I mean, finding the lawyer, that might be difficult, but we had a legal situation and we had to make like 6 phone calls and wait 2 weeks for people to call us back. But we finally found someone who would write us a letter. Yeah.
Natasha forced me, and it was uncomfortable for me to write to my ex-wife and really serve her with papers and say, this is it, and get my palimony. And we've been living high on the hog ever since.
But also encourage her that it's okay that she doesn't feel like, it's hard for her, because obviously she wants to marry you and she wants her daughter to have like the best possible. And she can say this to the stupid ex-husband, it's for my daughter, and for these reasons alone, I really want to do this and I need your compliance. And if you don't, I'm going to have to like seek outside help and see what happens.
But you're more asking how you can help, how you can facilitate it.
Well, we were on the doorstep of doing that, but because they have the Hong Kong residency, the Hong Kong borders are still closed. So if we wanted to go, like we were working on the full legal draft, and now we can't. Or she can cross, but she'd have to quarantine for 21 days and do all of that stuff. And she can't really do that. So
what does she have to go to Hong Kong for? Is he in Hong Kong? Is that the?
Well, that's where their marriage license is, and that's where it needs to be.
So she has to physically go to where their marriage license is to dissolve it, kind of a thing?
Yeah, we live like 20 minutes. I can see Hong Kong from my house, but it's on the other side of the border. So she'd have to cross. We could do that in the afternoon, but now it's 21 days.
Sound like Sarah Palin over here. Yeah. I'm talking about.
Wait, hold on. I have a quick question. Can you do it on Zoom? Can she do it on Zoom?
They can do the bartering, but they can't do any of the legal. Like if we wanted to get the part I was talking about where they just both come in and agree, they sign it, and then we leave. And then it's just notarized and all that. We could do that on Zoom. But as far as getting any like third party counsel, anything in, you actually need to be there, and she'd still need to do the actual business.
So I think right now your job as a person in a relationship is very clear. It's just to be supportive of her in something that's very difficult. Obviously, you're feeling a little bit cucked by this, cool Hong Kong guy, but it's like,
but his job isn't just to be supportive, because she keeps saying.
But but now you've got an international situation that you can't cross the border to do it, even if she was ready to do it. So in the meantime, here's my suggestion. Well, what's up? Does she speak English?
Oh, yeah.
And do you speak, is it Cantonese or Mandarin that she speaks?
So Cantonese is their first language. Everybody here has to learn Mandarin because that's the national language.
So she knows Mandarin, Cantonese, and English, and you know English.
And I'm developing my Mandarin coming along.
I would just stick around and hope that she doesn't kick you to the curb, man. I mean, she seems like an international warrior. No, I think that here's an idea. I don't know how she would respond to this, but what if you guys what if you guys talked to someone together, not a lawyer, but like a kind of, a coach or a therapist, to just get her in the zone of mentally what she wants to do when the border's open, to get her mind ready to fight this fight?
Well, I think Natasha's advice was what we've sort of done, where it's just get it more formal and legalized. I guess the problem isn't with us. The problem is how much it was my instinct to just keep in his ear all the time and never let him forget it. It's a possibility. Do I just let it lie until the border's open? Do I just drop it until they can actually do it?
Do you talk to the guy directly?
No. He doesn't speak English at all.
So you're saying, should you bug your partner to bug her ex constantly and say, divorce coming, like Omar coming from The Wire. Just divorce coming. Just so you know, when those borders open up, baby, I'm out of here. Is that what you're? That's what you're wondering?
I think if it were me being the one divorced, I would appreciate the heads up sort of thing. I know he already knows, but like now it's been 2 years where they haven't been able to cross the border. Should she just wait till they open and like kick the door open and surprise him with the paper, or do I just get her to keep telling him it's coming? It's coming.
I think finding a combo, something in the middle of those two things, which is having her write a letter, maybe find somebody to help,
or maybe even just a personal letter could work.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just like just being real and just saying like really no emotion, just like clearly what she needs and what she wants. And she this time has been really challenging for her, and she's made these decisions, and she thanks him for everything he's given her, and
the alimony, the
I would
attention
try that
to her children, all that.
And say, and yeah, you just have to, people need to let go.
But I think you're right. Like writing a letter, instead of calling every week, that sounds annoying and it will create conflict. Writing one letter that says very clearly, so my plan when the borders open up is to, as quickly as possible, get this divorce finished by however I have to do it, and then leave it at that. And the minute those borders open, you get over there and do it.
And if your girlfriend doesn't want to do that, then that's another layer that you got to deal with.
Right.
Yeah, we've done most of those steps you've outlined. Like it's bang on with what we've been trying.
Well, it seems like you guys are doing a great job. And honestly, and I don't mean this offensively, I'm on his side, on the ex-husband's side. 100%. He seems like he just seems cool. He seems cool to me. I
like him too.
He seems neat. He doesn't want anything to do with his kid. He won't grant his wife, who's not with a divorce, who lives in another province. Like it just seems to me like that's the dude for me. I'm not into this like love connection you and she have, and you're trying to be a good dad to your stepdaughter and like find her an education. All that just seems like that's bullshit. Like I'm about that dude in Hong Kong was like fuck polite. I'm just going to stay married to this woman. I'm going to keep her trapped in this marriage. I'm not going to be a father, and I'm not going to send any alimony. He just seems cool. That's all.
Hey, I'm a white devil. You got to protect your family somehow.
Well, good luck. And I think that, yes, forcing her to because it's probably, maybe it's hard for her. Whatever their dynamic was, clearly she didn't feel like she could have her voice, and he's still not listening to her because he wants to keep this up. And she's changed now, and she's met you, and she, and it's better. And also, it's better for her family if she gets out of that divorce.
Your child gets an education. But here's what I would say,
and that's what she should put in the letter to him too.
Right. My final thought, my Jerry Springer-esque final thought is not to forget, and I'm sure you haven't because you seem like a nice guy, but not to forget that your job isn't just to focus on what you want, which is to be married to this woman and to like get your stability and get your life going. It's also to be supportive of this woman that you love, who's going through is in a relationship with an ex that's extremely difficult. Just to remember that your job isn't just to take control and tell her how to get out of the marriage, but also to just love her and support her through that. That's what I would say. Just like
if they had any sort of common law set up here, I'd be fine just with that. I don't want to be married because that's the most magical day of my life. It was just kind of what we have to do business-wise.
No, we know you're basic.
You seem like a romantic guy. You do seem like a romantic guy. And here's the thing: like you just have to like support her through the difficult times. Like Natasha is supporting me through my Tiva phase. And I got these sandals, and she doesn't like them, but she just knows she has to support me through that.
Just because like a model wears something and they say it's in style doesn't mean it looks good on you.
All right, look, Alex, we got to go. Good luck to you, and I hope that you get married soon.
That's what we're hoping for.
Same here. We want to come visit in Shenzhen and take us to Hong Kong. That sounds fun.
And Mazel Tov. I'm glad you met your gal.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you like her kid, so
we get along great.
Teach her how to like go after what she wants and make it happen, and she'll be really happy.
Do you know how to say "Welcome to the Endless Honeymoon" podcast in Mandarin? Was that hard?
I'm still learning numbers and shapes.
Okay. Do you know how to say circle?
Still no.
Okay.
How about the number one?
Yeah, just the number one.
E.
Okay, that's good.
Hey, you know what?
Nice and easy.
You're number E to us.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye,
good
Alex.
luck. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well,
I do
Big
wonder-
Trouble in Little China. That's what I think that is.
I do wonder if she kind of secretly wants to stay with the guy. Probably not.
I don't think she wants to stay with him. It's funny, both of the calls today, this is kind of interesting. Both of the calls today were of such a specific culture that I felt like I wasn't, like I could only talk to the like humanity of it, but like I don't know what divorce custom is like in China. It might be so crazy different that I have no context for it. And I don't know what the etiquette of seeing your birth mother is when you're adopted. I just don't have the context for it. So it could be that it's a whole different dynamic. And this dude's just like jumping in, this Canadian guy jumping in going like, well, when you want a divorce in Canada, you just pour maple syrup on somebody and you're divorced. You know, like he might not even fully get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a whole different thing. Like I know in my culture, in like Hasidic Judaism, the man has to grant the woman a divorce.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's awful. And if they can get out,
but that's a certain sect. That's Hasidic Judaism.
Well, honestly, it's not. It's all.
So right now, you'd have to, in us being Jewish, you'd have to.
Okay. Yeah. Like, okay. So we signed we signed the marriage contract.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a legally binding contract in some court of law, right? You and I could get a divorce, which you've been fantasizing about since I got the Tivas, right? And you'd be divorced legally. But if you were really a religious Jew, which you are in so many ways, but in some ways you're not. But if you were really a religious Jew, you would also need me to nullify that marriage contract that we signed, or you would be like, I'm still married in the eyes of God, right? And the only way to get out of that marriage contract is for me to let you out of it, right? And so 90% of the time, divorces, the guy will just let the woman out of it, right? But 10% of the time, the guy is like, I won't do it. And there's no religiously legal recourse in the Jewish religion for women to get out of their marriage. And so what the community does, and it's pretty horrifying and awful. And I don't know why they don't just change the rule, but they're like, God wants it this way. God loves contracts. But the only way to get the guy who's like being a stubborn, divorce refuser to do it is they do these sustained campaigns of public shaming. They'll go to like the Hasidic and Orthodox community will literally like they'll like blast out on the internet or in the newspaper like, this dude won't grant his wife a divorce. She's trapped in this marriage. Like, go to his work, go to his house, and they'll like pick at the dude's work. They'll pick at his house. They'll like try to basically shame him into relenting.
If you think that men have any more power or rights than women, you're part of the problem.
Why are you reading a bumper sticker off your car?
No, but
I agree. I'm not supporting it. I'm saying that's what that reality is. It's a cultural bizarre.
But we need to change that.
But you and me?
In general, I think people in little ways, like even this woman who's about to marry this guy, like just like sticking up for herself, because you like to get into it. And sometimes you try to teach me to get into it. But if it's easier to just pacify people, sometimes I would rather do that, because I don't want to like get into it with people who won't change. But, so I just try to, in that case, manipulate to get what I want.
How would you manipulate this Hong Kong guy?
The husband?
Yeah.
I would send him an earnest letter. Mm-hmm. And tell him exactly what I wanted, and knowing him would try to think like what else I could give him to get that. So I would be like, if he liked the kid, I would be like, in every, and I'll try to have her send you letters.
He doesn't like the kid.
Okay, he doesn't like the kid.
So
I would just be like, oh, then you know what I would offer? I would say, I really appreciate this, this, and this that you did for us, but now it's time for me to move on, and I'm going to do that with or without your compliance. So if you want to make it easy, I think that's what I would do. I don't know. I mean, if he abused me or something, maybe I wouldn't be strong enough to say that, but I would just try to make it simple and easy for him. Like, here, sign this. It'll be at your house. Or here, you can DocuSign this. You just have to press 2 buttons. I would just try to like lay it out simply. And then if he didn't agree to it, I would hire somebody to send a menacing letter and try again. And then I would try again. And then I would just wear him down.
I don't know if I like how verbose you're being about the very specifics of what you would put into I need to get out of this marriage letter. You have this at the ready, and it's a whole monologue. And
no, because
I've never seen you more animated in my life.
No, I was thinking about her because it's hard, and I don't know what her relationship was like, but I know what it's like to be a woman and to be constantly oppressed and to feel like your rights matter 10% more than mine or 50% more than mine, and it sucks. And so I hope that this is a time that is going to it'll soon be outdated. This will be an old mode.
Honestly, I too understand oppression and discrimination. I actually live with a person who constantly discriminates against my fashion choices. And so I too understand the struggle that this woman is going through.
All right, honey. Well, why don't we post a picture of your shoes and sock combo and see what people think?
Okay.
And
I think I look cool.
Yeah.
Hey, honey.
Yeah.
Here's the good news.
What?
You're never going to have to draft a letter like that.
Why?
You know why?
Why?
Because I love you.
I love you too.